fellow human beings, Power Gamer here, and it's Christmas! Easily my favorite time of the year, the time of joy, friendship, and capitalism, my three favorite things, and nothing says 'tis the season like Pikmin. Look, there's not that many Christmas games out there, alright? This is the best I can do.
Pikmin, one of Nintendo's series. Yeah, this isn't exactly the biggest Nintendo franchise out there, but it still has a passionate fanbase. But where exactly did the series come from? The game was built off of the famous tech demo called Super Mario 128, an early demo of the Nintendo GameCube which featured 128 Marios walking around. Elements of this demo would be used in later Nintendo games like Metroid Prime 2 and Super Mario Galaxy, but Pikmin took the most influence from it, as it featured a large number of characters on screen at one time. The game was released for the GameCube on October 26, 2001 in Japan, December 2, 2001 in North America, and June 14, 2002 in Europe. It didn't light up sales charts, but it was a commercial success, selling 1.19 million copies, and it got positive reception from critics. The game later got two sequels released for the GameCube and Wii U. The GameCube games were ported to the Wii U game was ported to the Switch, and it also got a 3DS spin-off, a recent mobile phone game, and a fourth entry that seems to be in development hell.
I'm looking over the original today. This is completely new territory for me, as I have never played a Pikmin game before. But holidays are all about trying new things, and it is the series' 20th anniversary. Okay, seriously, how many series anniversaries are there this year? Jesus Christ. Well, this is the last one I'm doing this year, so let's just start the game up.
The game follows Captain Olimar, a tiny astronaut from the planet Hakatate. When Olimar takes a vacation into outer space, his spaceship is hit by an asteroid and he crashes on a nearby planet. God, don't you just hate it when that happens. On the planet, he discovers the ship has lost several pieces and that the atmosphere of the planet is toxic and he can only survive 30 days. He also finds a small ship, which he calls an onion, and it spits out little plant-like creatures, which he calls Pikmin. The Pikmin seem to follow his command, so he decides to use them to collect the missing pieces of his spaceship so he can return to his family on his home planet. And that's how the gameplay works. You directly control Olimar and command the army of Pikmin. You use the A button to throw Pikmin, the B button to call them over, the X button to disband them, and the C stick to command them to interact with nearby objects. You aim your Pikmin with the analog stick, which is kind of annoying since you can't move and aim independently from one another. It's not the worst thing ever, but I can't imagine some people getting frustrated with it. Your main goal is to find all 30 of the missing pieces of your ship, which is called the Dolphin. You do this by traveling around the planet and using the Pikmin to collect them. You have to command them to pick up the item and then make sure the path is clear so they can safely carry it back to the Dolphin. You do this by clearing any barricades, laying out bridges, or defeating enemies. You start with only one Pikmin, but you get more by having them grab either these round things or defeated enemies and bringing them back to the onion.
Yes, you literally grow Pikmin from the corpses of your enemies.
This causes the onion to shoot out seeds which make more Pikmin grow. The bigger the enemy or circle, the more seeds you get. You also get bonus seeds if you grab a circle of the corresponding Pikmin color. Pikmin come in 3 different colors, each with their own special abilities. Red Pikmin are immune to fire, yellow Pikmin can be thrown higher distances and pick up these explosive rocks which you use to take down stone walls, and blue Pikmin can't drown. Yes, you heard me correctly, drown. Pikmin can die in a large number of brutal ways. They can drown, get eaten, burned, squished, and even blown up.
This game is surprisingly disturbing. I like it.
While killing Pikmin can be fun for sociopaths like myself, you really want to keep them alive, otherwise you won't be able to successfully get through the game. Remember how I said Olimar can only survive for 30 days? That's not just in the context of the story. You may have noticed the sun meter on the top screen. That's your clock. It gradually progresses as you play, and when it reaches the end, the day's over. Every night, Olimar and the Pikmin have to return to the Dolphin and the onions and go into orbit. You have exactly 30 days to reclaim as many spaceship parts as possible, and when the days run out, the game ends, no matter how many pieces you have. One in-game day lasts roughly 13 minutes in real time, so you have about 7 hours to beat the game. This game's all about time management, and you have to make sure you get as much done as possible in a single day. If you're someone who hates the feeling of pressure, this probably isn't the game for you.
However, there is a way around it. You can save your game at the end of every day, so if you feel like you wasted too much time, you can restart from your last save and start the day all over again.
The Pikmin aren't the only ones that can die, though. Olimar's suit has its own health bar, and if you run out, it ends the current day immediately, so you don't want to die. You can replenish your health at Olimar's ship as many times as you want, and if you die, you can always reload your save file, but it's still best not to die, just like in real life. This game has decent graphics for an early GameCube game, but sadly the resolution makes it look pretty bad. As for the music, yeah, it's fine. It's not terrible, but it's not that great either. It's mostly pretty atmospheric and I don't remember it at all. You'll come across a large variety of dangers in the game, most of which are enemies that can cause some serious damage. Your method of defeating them is either by commanding your Pikmin to attack or by hurling them at the target. Some enemies can go down easily, but others can be a huge pain. These things in particular can just piss off. They can gobble down an entire army in seconds. This one literally ate 32 of my Pikmin. There's also these guys, which can squish tons of them in an instant. It's ridiculous. Sometimes they go down easy, other times they wipe out an entire fleet. You really need to be careful with how many Pikmin you lose, since you need anywhere from 15 to 40 of them just to grab a spaceship part. So if you lose too many, you might have to spend an entire day just rebuilding your stock. I had over 200 Pikmin when I fought these bird heads, and I lost half of them by the time I finally took them out. And I spent an entire day just trying to get them back. If there's one complaint I have with this game, it's that controlling Pikmin can be really frustrating. Sometimes they'll do things I didn't tell them to do, other times they'll go the wrong way. I wasn't able to get these enemies back to the ship before the day ended just because the Pikmin I had grab it decided to take the long way. Look, here's another group of Pikmin going the short way from the same location, but these ones felt like going around instead. And what is that one down there doing? Why isn't he climbing up? You can only have a maximum of 100 Pikmin in the field at a time, and you have to gather up all of them before the day ends or they'll get left behind when you go into orbit. Ones that are planted in the ground can stay overnight, but any that have been picked have to be gathered up or they're gone forever. You also have to make sure the path is perfectly clear when bringing something back to base. This can include building bridges, taking out enemies, or knocking down walls. If there's no bridge or there's a wall in the way, Pikmin will just stop. Some walls have to be destroyed with the rocks that yellow Pikmin hold, others have to be knocked down by your army. And look at how long this takes! You also have to kill any enemies that stand between you and the base, otherwise your Pikmin will wind up getting slaughtered. Most enemies stay permanently dead after you kill them, but some respawn the next day. Thankfully, if you grab a piece and then move it, but it doesn't get back to the dolphin before the day ends, it'll still be where you left it. However, if you kill an enemy and don't bring it back to the onions in time, it'll be gone forever. So you could have lost a large amount of Pikmin and can't use the enemy's body to rebuild your stock. There's 4 separate areas of the planet: Crash Site, Forest of Hope, Forest Navel, and the Distant Spring. At the start of each day, you pick an area, and that's where you are for the entire day. So you really want to make sure you get as much done as possible, because you don't want to have to waste an entire day getting one item you missed in an area. I say this from experience. Pieces can be found in a variety of ways. Some are just out in the open, some are hidden behind walls, and some you have to defeat a boss in order to obtain. There's this beetle where you have to hit the front and then attack from behind. The bird heads I mentioned earlier you want to hit in the face. This giant blowfish who can't actually hurt you, so the hard part is just avoiding the other nearby enemies. Get away from me, sharks. There's this giant mushroom, which is not friendly, as it releases these spores which turn your Pikmin against you. You have to attack its legs so it flips upside down, and then throw your army of tiny soldiers. Finally is the spider. I think you have to attack its legs in order to bring down the center part, but I'm not really sure. Either way, send your minions flying at the body. Every night when you go into orbit, you get these small captain's logs from Olimar. They can range from hints on how to defeat certain enemies, or him just lamenting about going home. You get a brief description of every item you collect, and as you go through the game, it hints that some of the items are not required.
While there are 30 items in the game, you only need 25 items in order to return home. Now, this means which 25 items you get don't matter, right? Right?
Nope, you have to get 25 specific items in order to get the good ending. 5 of the items are optional, but the game doesn't tell you which ones are which. Some of them are understandable, like the massage machine or the space ring, which I got by complete accident. But others, like this light, seem like they're needed, but the game doesn't tell you until after you collect it. So that's pretty much just telling me I wasted my time. Thanks, game. I guess I should briefly talk about this challenge mode. You have to grow as many Pikmin as possible in a single day. It's a high score-based challenge, and it's not that important, so let's just get back to the main game. So, after a lot of work and many reloaded saves, I finally reached day 30 with only 2 pieces remaining. First I took out the spider, and now there's only 1 piece left. I'm taking 100 blue Pikmin and bringing them out into the water. Don't let them get squished. Attack! 1 down, 1 left. Avoid his landing. Attack! Oh, no, wait! And just like that, over 50 Pikmin gone in a second. Well, he's dead. Now I just need to grab the last required piece, and are you kidding me? I would have had enough if it wasn't for this jackass. Alright, fine, I'll just use his body and the circle to grab some more. Bring them to the onion, get some more Pikmin, grab the piece. Oh crap, I'm running out of time. Come on, move it! No, don't take the long way, take the short way! Oh crap, it's the final countdown. Get to the ship, get to the ship. Yes! I just made it. Time for liftoff, and Olimar successfully blasts off into space to reunite with his family. Turns out I missed 1 piece, but I didn't need it, so who cares? Then the credits roll, and I had a successful run.
Oh, right. If a game has multiple endings, I can't conquer it unless I get them all. And when I say multiple endings, I mean stuff that actually affects the game's story. So stuff like whatever Samus is wearing at the end of Metroid, what Cranky Kong says at the end of Donkey Kong Country, and whose hand pops up at the end of Arkham Asylum doesn't count. The difference is very minimal and it doesn't have any real impact on the plot. This, on the other hand, does determine whether or not Olimar gets home. Plus, I didn't get all 30 pieces, so I need to see if that makes a difference.
Okay, one round later and I got 29 pieces before the last day. This opens up one last area, the final trial. After this incredibly simple puzzle, you open up this gate and oh my god, what the hell is that thing? Whatever it is, it's gotta die. You gotta attack either the face or the legs, but be careful because at any moment it can sit down and squish all your Pikmin or stick its tongue out and slurp them up. And sometimes he launches himself into the air. You've gotta be kidding me. They literally combined the worst enemies in the game and made it into the final boss. Well, I'm out of Pikmin. Better run back and get some more. No joke, this fight lasted an entire day and I went through all of my Pikmin. He's so close, dang it. Well, this isn't gonna happen. Reload my save file, try again, and yes! Take that, you abomination! This gives you the final piece, the secret safe. Wait, what's behind this gate? Oh, bomb rocks. Those might have come in handy. Oh well, doesn't matter. Get back to the ship, and Olimar bids farewell to the Pikmin as he blasts off into space to reunite with his family. And now the Pikmin can protect themselves.
Well, that's that taken care of, but now I need to know what happens if you fail. Good thing there's an option to skip right to sundown.
Day 30, and you can't skip to sundown on the last day. Dang it. Also, you can't skip the cutscene that plays at the end of the day, so I literally had to watch this 29 times. Guess I'll just grab some pieces to kill time. Alright, it's sundown. Olimar once again tries to escape, and yep, that's what I thought. The Pikmin then carry his dead body back to the Onion and create an Olimar Pikmin. This is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
Alright, let's try this again. Conquered. Pikmin can be frustrating and a bit stressful if you don't like time limits, but there's a decent amount of fun to be had here. It's still a charming, solid game, and I'd highly recommend giving it a shot.
The Wii version has a new control scheme, which most people say makes the game better, so I think that's probably the way to play if you're interested. I played the original just for the sake of it. The Wii version's probably better.
Well, that's about it. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you all. I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope you all get that special gift you've been hoping for. Hey, what's this? Sweet! This'll be perfect for the coffee table I'm making!